You're watching The Power Circuit, a program brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Always stay with us on this program to get the latest information about the power sector. The Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar Aliyu, has paid an official visit to Benue State, where a 330 kilovolts transmission line is being constructed to evacuate power from the newly completed 40 megawatts Kashimbila hydropower plant in Taraba State. Stay with us for this report. Remember last week we reminded you of how you can maximize safety measures during the dry season, especially to safeguard power lines and other infrastructure from any fire occurrence. Today we'll be taking you through a report on a petroleum pipeline fire incident caused by vandalism in Lagos. The inferno affected a power transmission line and caused 5 towers to collapse on the line routes. Surely, this is preventable as we do our bits to steer clear of vandalism and hazardous activities on the power lines right of way. Still on the headlines, vandals hack a power transmission line tower in Oshobo. TCN sensitizes staff in Lagos region on revealed condition of service. And from Katsina, the Assistant General Manager Transmission for the Katsina sub-region of TCN, Engineer Mohammed Kwali, speaks on an ongoing expansion project at the 330-132 kilovolts Katsina substation. We promise you will get the most in this edition of the Power Circuit. This is Amara Agogoesi. It's good to have you here. The Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar Aliyu, says the federal government is heightening the completion of a 330 kilovolts power transmission line for evacuating electricity from the newly completed 40 megawatts Kashimbila hydropower plant in Taraba State to the national grid through the 330-132 kilovolts Apri transmission substation in Benue State.
Engineer Aliyu stated this in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, when he paid a courtesy visit to the Benue State Governor Samuel Otom as part of his working visit to inspect ongoing power projects in Benue.
In fact, it's a working visit. Myself and my colleague and our staffs were here in Benue State to inspect an ongoing project of the Ministry of Power under the federal government of Nigeria. And we can't come to Benue and just inspect and go without meeting the father of the land, who is the governor of the state. So we first of all have to come. It is prudent to be here to greet him and to tell him why we are here.
Engineer Aliyu noted that with an improved national power grid capacity, cases of system collapse have reduced. For the transmission line projects for the power plants, the minister said the project is in 2 phases. Phase 1 is from Kashimbila in Taraba to Yendev in Benue, and phase 2 is from Yendev to Makurdi.
This phase 1, which is completed, coming to Yendev, and the upgrading of the Yendev substation, and the phase 2, which is over 40% completed now, linking Yendev substation to Makurdi. You can best imagine what it will do to that area.
The minister, who took time to explain the project components being handled by the Federal Ministry of Power, said part of phase 2 of the project include the construction of 4 33 11 kilovolts power distribution substation at Ugba, Zakibiam, Buruku, and Ayin. The substation also have the distribution line components from Ugba to Zakibiam, from Ugba to Buruku, and from Ugba to Ayin. Engineer Aliyu reiterated the commitment of the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration towards improving power supply in Nigeria. Responding, Governor Tom lauded the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari as he confirmed the President's commitment to improving electricity supply in Nigeria.
I commend the ministry, and to the larger extent, I commend the President for giving attention to power. That is the right thing to do. So, Honorable Minister, you have done well by this visit, and I want to encourage you, not just in Benue State, other areas where you have formations that will add value to the development of energy in Nigeria. Please take your time. You have opportunity today because there is a problem of writing your name in gold.
The minister and his team visited the power station at Yendev in Benue. Officials said the Kashimbila hydropower plant was ready for expanded operation to add 40 megawatts to the power grid once the full transmission line is ready.
In the previous edition, we enlightened you on why you would need to maximize safety measures during the dry season, especially to safeguard power lines and other infrastructure from any fire occurrence. We take you to Lagos, where an incident of fire on a vandalized petroleum pipeline route along the Isheri-Olofin area on the Lasu Expressway occurred. The inferno caused massive damage to the 330 kV Ikeja West to Akangba Power Transmission Line 1. The raging fire burnt off a large portion of the high-tension conductor, which resulted in the collapse of 5 towers on the line route. We're bringing you more on this.
The 330 kV transmission line is the first of the 2 lines that transmits power from the 330 132 kV Ikeja West transmission substation to the 330 132 kV Akangba substation, all in Lagos State. That particular transmission line wheels 145 megawatts of electricity daily, but the fire incidents badly affected the towers, especially at the Lagos Canal. Although TCN immediately mobilized engineers to redirect bulk electricity to the second line to avoid any perennial outage around the Akangba axis of Lagos, reconstructing the towers would involve huge financing by the company. The management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, led by the acting managing director and chief executive officer, Engineer Dr. Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, immediately came to Lagos to assess the incident and proffer solution, while the TCN in-house engineers redirected bulk power transmission to the second line few hours after the incident. Engineer Abdulaziz said he was representing the Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar Aliu, who had asked that a cogent explanation about the tower collapse incident should be made to Nigerians and what TCN has done to remediate it to ensure continuous bulk power supply.
This thing happened almost early in the morning of today, around 12:30 a.m. So early in the morning, I informed the Honorable Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar Aliu, and he instructed me to come here and represent him and explain to Lagosians that TCN is trying all possible means to make sure that light is restored to the citizens of Lagos.
Explaining the cause of the inferno that affected the 330 kilovolt power transmission line, the TCN boss said vandalism and bunkering of public assets were responsible, adding that it is a big loss to Nigerians.
Actually, this incident happened from those people that are bunkering. They went and tampered with NNPC pipe, and I think from there was an outbreak of fire, and this fire now went and melted some of our conductors on this Ikeja West Akangba 330 kV transmission line. So when a lot of the cable was damaged, then there is a tension pool, and that makes 5 of our towers to come down. The damage is very great. This line is carrying 145 megawatts. And you can imagine if in the whole day you do not transmit that light, how much is going to be the loss. Then secondly, it will take a lot of money and time before the towers can be restored. So it is a big loss to Nigerians.
The TCN head urged people who indulge in vandalism and bunkering of public infrastructure to desist from the act, noting that they are acts of economic sabotage.
What I want to say to Nigerians, those people that are bunkering, I'm advising them to stop it. Let them find a legitimate way where they can earn money and live their life. Government properties is everybody's property. By doing this, you are taking us back. Government is spending a lot of money. For example, yesterday, around 16 memos were approved for TCN to expand the grid. And you can see the amount that was involved. Now, you are taking us back. You are bringing our towers down. We are spending money which is not in the budget to come and repair these towers. So I'm advising them that they are Nigerians, they want this country to move forward, they should stop from these activities.
Engineer Abdulaziz also spoke of how TCN devised an immediate strategy to ensure that the Akangba area of Lagos would not have a power outage after the incident.
When this incident happened, we didn't want to leave Lagos in darkness. So Akangba station, which is fed by this line, it has also another source where we can feed it, which is through Ijora. So from that time, we have been supplying the substation through Ijora, and now our engineers were able to restore the second line that trip, because this line that went down is line 1. Then we have line 2 in case of redundancy. That line, when this incident happened, is also trip. But our people have patrolled the lines. It is now working, and all the load has been transferred to that line. So we don't have any problem. Even at today, Lagos is getting almost 900 megawatts.
As the acting managing director of TCN has noted, the destruction of such colossal power infrastructure would cost huge funds to fix, while causing power outages that could be avoided in most instances. The good news is that this type of incident is preventable, as we do our bit to steer clear of vandalism and hazardous activities on the power line's right of way. The power circuit continues in a moment.
Do you know that vandalizing power infrastructure and stealing its components have negative impact on government's efforts towards improving the nation's power sector? Say no to vandalism. Vandalism leaves TCN with the enormous task of re-erecting and restringing damaged power transmission lines and towers, which cost millions of naira to rebuild. Money that should be used for transmission expansion projects to make increased bulk electricity readily available to electricity consumers through the distribution companies. Do you know that vandals are destroying our common national assets, funded with taxpayers' monies, and negatively impeding our common socio-economic progress? Say no to vandalism. Do not condone vandals, because stealing parts of electricity transmission towers and cables disrupts the transmission of generated power to distribution load centers, threatening the national grid, your comfort, and ultimately the nation's economic growth. So don't just walk away. Be involved. Do something when you observe suspicious activities around transmission installations or even vandals at work. Don't just walk away. Report to any transmission office closest to you or any security outfit around your vicinity. Say no to vandalism. TCN enjoins you to work with us to stop the willful destructions of our collective national assets as we work to transmit increased bulk electricity in the most efficient and effective manner. This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria. TCN. TCN, transmitting bulk electricity for national development.
The destruction of public infrastructure is a setback for any nation. Let's join hands and stamp out the menace of vandalism. The Oshobo region of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has recorded such a vandalism incident where a tower on the 330 kilovolts power transmission line being constructed from Oshobo in Osun State to Akure in Ondo State was vandalized. The officials from the region were at the site of the incident at the Ebaroke axis of the state.
Officials of TCN from the Oshobo region were at the site to assess the extent of damage at the site where the tower was hacked and crashing into farmlands. It was also observed that parts of the tower members were dismantled and taken away. The regional transmission manager of Oshobo region of TCN, Engineer Kazim Bakari, expressed sadness over the incident, noting that it was a setback for the 330 kilovolt double-cycled power transmission line project meant to improve bulk power delivery to Ondo states.
I think today is a very sad day for me, looking at the gravity of this callous behavior. If you look at what they have just done to this tower, they have granted it millions of naira down the drain, and what did they do? They are using also acetylene to cut it, just to sell this thing for peanuts. It's very sad. It's a shame. And the most difficult part of it is that this place is not in the heart of the forest. This is a farmland. You can see farms around here. Also, you can see sign of signmanners operating in this area. I am very sure that this is an economic sabotage against the country, and we want to get to the end of this so that we deter these people from continuing with such act of sabotage.
Engineer Bakari further noted that the company would collaborate with the respective law enforcement agencies to track down the perpetrators.
We don't know their motive, but I'm sure that the law enforcement agencies, all of them in the country, must be mobilized to actually determine their motive. This is a crime against the state, and it must be dealt with with such dimension. It's a sad thing, and we hope that we will get them and they will answer to the law.
According to Engineer Bakari, the assessment shows that the tower was cut at the base section using acetylene welding tools, and with less support, the tower fell. The vandalism occurred just around where TCN has been complaining of sand miners who have been posing a threat to the integrity of the transmission line towers and its right of way.
To further boost the confidence of employees in their various job roles, the management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has sensitized members of staff in the Lagos region on the reviewed conditions of service. The staff also benefited from rounds of lectures on safety and security, as well as improved health practices to promote their overall fitness for work and for their retirement plan.
In declaring the session open, the Regional Transmission Manager Lagos Region, Engineer Ajiboye Oluwagbenga Emmanuel, welcomed the team from the TCN headquarters in Abuja for the sensitization session.
I will start by welcoming the team from Abuja for creating the opportunity to come and talk to us. So the management of Lagos Region is so grateful to the central management for coming up with this one. And we want you to carry back to them that we are highly appreciative of the move to make us happy in the field. So I'm begging all of us to please pay rapt attention, and where necessary we should ask questions and get clarification.
Addressing the staff at the Lagos region, the General Manager Industrial Relations, Mr. Chuks Naji, said the 2020 conditions of service and the entire sensitization program places the welfare of the staff as a priority, noting it was a nationwide program that has been held in all the 10 operational regions of TCN.
You will understand with me that it is very difficult for most of us, even when we have received the conditions of service, to sit down and read those documents. But I'm aware that we have given out copies to all members of staff to go through.
During the sensitization process, a medical expert, Dr. Egbokale Ehimen from the Jora Clinic in Lagos, took the staff through common adult life ailments in the developing world and how they can be managed. Chief Superintendent of Police Lekon Ogundari lectured the participants on safety and security tips, which he said is quite useful. In her lecture on career progression path, which is another working document of TCN, the General Manager Human Resources of the Independent System Operations Arm of TCN, Mrs. Abiodun Afolabi, said it was crucial for the staff to understand how they progress in their career.
Subject you want to do, and it does not exist in your location. Apart from part-time, we have full-time. You apply for study leave without pay. Do you understand? TCN will never deprive anybody from progressing. You apply for study leave without pay, and it will be granted.
Also in a presentation, The General Manager, Industrial Relations, Mr. Chuksun Naji, said all the documents, including the conditions of service, are guideline policies as he discussed the review conditions of service with the participants.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, is set to increase the bulk power transmission capacity available to several towns and communities in Katsina State. This will soon become a reality when the ongoing 330-132 kV Katsina Transmission Substation project is completed, says the Assistant General Manager, Transmission for the Katsina Sub-Region of Katsina, Engineer Mohammed Kwali.
Engineer Kwali explained the ongoing projects at the substation to the power circuit team, especially on the impact it will create around its coverage area extending up to parts of Niger Republic.
This substation was created as a work center in the year 2020. Then later it was upgraded to sub-region in 2021 by this present administration. The station is 330/132/33 kV, the capacity of the station. And the transmission line, as I said, is coming from Rimung, Zakara to this place is 300 kVA. We have two transformers, 2x60 presently, and we are expecting 2x150 MVA. During this time, a lot of things have been done or have been started. For instance, now, if you look at the place, at my back, staff quarters are under constructions. Admin block is under constructions too. And some work on the switch yard. A lot of countries, if you look at it, both 330 and 132 kV site are there. They have done it just recently. Then there is 2x60 MVA on the plinth.
Engineer Kwali also spoke about the coverage area of the substation when it is completed and commissioned.
The coverage area will be number 1 Kankia, number 2 Daura, number 3 Gazawa in Niger Republic, number 4 Kankara, number 5 Dusama, number 6 Kurpi. These are the covering area. When this place is completed, it is going to supply other substations at 132 kV level.
We enjoin you to partner with the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to tackle cases of the encroachment of the right of way of power lines. Ensure you avoid activities that could lead to fire outbreaks, especially around power lines. Here is a recap of the reports. Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar Liu, inspects 330 kV transmission line projects in Benue State for evacuating bulk power from 40 megawatts Kashimbila hydropower plant in Taraba State. Lagos pipeline fire destroys 5 towers on 330 kV power transmission line. Vandals hack a power transmission line tower in Oshobo. TCN sensitizes staff in Lagos region on reviewed conditions of service. And from Katsina, the Assistant General Manager, Transmission for the Katsina Sub-Region of TCN, Engineer Mohammed Kwali, spoke on an ongoing expansion project at the 330-132 kV Katsina Substation. We always appreciate you and want you to continue with us online. Access all episodes on the TCN YouTube channel. And there are these other platforms where we take your suggestions and other information. Keep being apt in battling with the COVID-19 variant by getting vaccinated and keeping to all the prevention protocols. I am Amara Agogoisi. Top of the day to you.